The headlines of this hour on VTV News. 15th National Assembly marks 12th working day with a Q&A session for ministers. Later on, Vietnamese culture honored at UNESCO Cultural Evening. In our world news, UN chief urges ceasefire in Gaza, while Israel pledges to keep fighting.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time, and you're tuning in to 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Nguyen with the latest updates. Now on Tuesday, the National Assembly continued its 6th session with a Q&A session focusing on many issues. Deputies raised questions to ministers regarding various areas. More in the following.
At the Q&A session, deputies stated that digital transformation should be sped up in all fields to ensure openness and transparency so as to contribute to preventing corruption.
I would like to ask Minister about measures to improve the effectiveness of the fight against corruption and negative phenomena in the coming time.
The Ministry of Public Security has investigated and strictly prosecuted corruption criminals and recovered assets for the state. The authorities do not let the subject escape abroad. The police force has investigated and arrested in accordance with the law.
People's personal information is exposed and confidentiality is not guaranteed. Does the minister have any solution to solve this problem?
The Ministry of Public Security has issued warnings and handled many cases related to database intrusion. However, people's awareness of data protection is not high, as many willingly provide their personal information to others and businesses when performing civil transactions. The ministry has advised the government to issue a decree on personal data protection and proposed adding the crime of revealing and leaking personal data to the 2015 Penal Code so as to strictly handle this act.
The Q&A session continued on Tuesday afternoon, covering various fields.
Currently, many people use social networking platforms to advertise falsely. How to handle these violations?
Mechanisms have been put in place for cooperation with cross-border social media platforms to remove harmful and false information. Regulations have been issued to strengthen information management on social networking platforms.
I asked the ministers in the previous Q&A session about solutions to support female workers after the COVID-19 pandemic, but I have not received an answer.
The ministry has proposed to the government solutions to support female workers. The Prime Minister also assigned the Vietnam Women's Association to develop preferential loan policies for female workers to start their own businesses.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyen chaired a meeting on preparations for the implementation of the National Assembly's supervision program in 2024. After listening to the deputy's opinion, the National Assembly chairman requested that the conference reports should review the implementation of the National Assembly's supervision program in 2023 and then propose solutions to effectively implement the 2024 monitoring program. He also requested that reports need to be substantive and have a full review of the coordination between agencies of the National Assembly, thereby improving the effectiveness of supervision activities. The party, state, and people of Vietnam always view the relationship with China as a strategic choice and a top priority as part of the nation's foreign policy. The statement was made by Politburo member and chairman of the party's Inspection Commission, Chen Kum-tu, at a meeting with chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, or NPC, of China, Zhao Leji, in Beijing. The Vietnamese Politburo member also briefed the Chinese official on Vietnam's socio-economic development, party building and underscored the importance of maintaining high-level exchanges and contacts, as well as cooperation via all channels. Zhao Leji, for his part, also noted that the party and government of China regards Vietnam as a priority in the country's neighborhood diplomacy, and his belief that the visit will contribute to further concerting the common perceptions reached by the two party chiefs. In the past month, several banks have been adjusting and reducing savings interest rates, resulting in the highest deposit interest rates being around 6% per year. A survey conducted with 34 banks revealed that over 20 banks have further decreased their interest rates. Currently, most banks offer a maximum listed interest rate below 6% per year, with fewer than 10 banks still offering an interest rate of 6% per year or higher. The reduction in deposit interest rates is attributed to the abundant liquidity in the banking system. Petroleum is an essential product and would directly affect national production, business activities, and people's daily lives. Rising petrol prices not only push up the price of goods and services, but also fuel the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. As a matter of fact, effective management of this commodity is an urgent task. Promoting digitalization for the sector is considered the key to effective oil management.
This gas station integrates a modern customer service system, including new gasoline pumps, convenience stores, and car care services. All services are managed by a digital platform. All gasoline pumps and gas tanks are controlled by an application.
Applying modern technologies is an inevitable trend. Modern technologies help us in the management, the process, and customer services.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has coordinated with the Ministry of Information and Communications to build a national petroleum management and administration database system.
A digital transformation program for petroleum has been put into operations for the last 2 years. The program has proven effective. This digital transformation program helps the state agencies to better manage the fluctuations of the gasoline market products better. Petrol companies also find it effective for their management.
The implementation of digitized data-driven solutions and future-ready technologies are sure to boost performance, reduce costs, and multiply efficiency many-fold. This digital system is the foundation to create transparency for the petroleum market.
To ensure the supply of goods for the year-end period, the Ministry of Industry and Trade has taken numerous measures, including lowering prices and coordinating with distribution enterprises for stable sources of goods. At this point, businesses have production and distribution plans that they committed shortages of goods, especially essential items, which will not be the case this year.
Having built a stable raw material area and invested in new machinery, this business is well planned to supply goods and essential items as well as keep prices stable for the year-end period.
We learned many lessons from the year-end period last year. We plan to produce more to keep items in reserve. We also built our own raw material areas, imported wheat starch from Tay Ninh province, and invested in a modern flour factory.
This company has mobilized $22 million to make nearly 1,100 tons of fresh food and 3,800 tons of processed food ready for the market. The company has reserved about 20% of its finished products for the case of market fluctuations.
We supply the market with products at suitable prices. We accept the fact that the company would make less profits so that customers can enjoy our promotion and have all they need for their Tet holiday.
Retailers have worked with suppliers since this June, planning for stable supplies. They have had plans to keep prices stable, increase promotions for essential goods and items. Discounts of up to 30% will be in place for this year-end period.
Demand will increase during the week before Tet holidays. We have plans to ensure stable supplies. We will also issue promotions to boost consumption.
In Ho Chi Minh City, the year-end and Tet programs have started. Sales can reach up to 7%. Prices are about 10% lower than prices during the same period last year. The city's supermarkets have increased the supply of regional specialties to serve demand.
Coming up next on VTV News. Tiền Giang focuses on coastal erosion prevention. And later on, Vietnamese culture honored at UNESCO Cultural Evening. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. The Giang province is implementing a series of both structural and non-structural solutions to protect and respond to coastal erosion, especially as the Gò Công Coastal Protection Forest Belt is undergoing serious erosion. The province plans to focus heavily on mangrove forests management. The locality also increased communication to raise awareness of natural disaster prevention and control activities, with an emphasis on coastal erosion prevention and control. Since 2009, the People's Committee of the Giang province has upgraded and renovated more than 16 kilometers of its sea dike, built about 8 kilometers of embankment to protect the dike slope at key sections. Notably, the embankment to reduce waves and prevent erosion on the Gò Công sea dike was put in place in 2021. Starting from November, all information including operating licenses, curriculum, facility conditions of public and non-public preschools will be publicly disclosed on the website of Ho Chi Minh's districts and Thu Duc City. That is a digital transformation effort of the city's education sector to support management work. Currently, the city has publicized information of more than 1,200 preschools, including non-public schools, kindergartens, and independent preschools on the portal. The move is to ensure schools' commitment to teaching quality and avoid unlicensed operations. Digital transformation is helping organizations operate more effectively, more streamlined, and more transparent. Quảng Bình province has 9 communes situated on the Vietnam-Laos border, including 3 border gates and numerous open trails. This geographical condition provides an opportunity for drug criminals to illegally transport drugs from Laos into the country. Presently, the Quảng Bình police are actively raising awareness among the public to prevent drug trafficking across the Vietnam-Laos border.
On average, the Trường Sơn Commune Police coordinate with officers from the Lang Mo border guard station about 4 to 5 times a month to visit Ploang village and engage with the community on topics such as drug crimes and social evils.
Thanks to the border guards and the police, I have come to understand the harm caused by drugs. I will now share my knowledge with others.
Ploang village has a population of nearly 160 people. After implementing the drug-free border model to raise awareness about drug abuse and crime, security in the area has improved.
The commune police have collaborated with the village chiefs and border guard forces to integrate awareness about drug abuse and drug crimes into the village meetings.
The police forces have organized thorough prevention efforts. They help us stay away from social evils and the harm they cause. I'm grateful for their efforts.
Recently, the Quảng Bình Provincial Border Guards have integrated prevention programs with socio-economic development projects. This approach has helped raise awareness about drug abuse and crimes and had fostered movements for national security. These efforts have contributed to promoting the role of the people and strengthening the spirit of building a drug-free community at the border.
The district of Bao Lac in Ca Bang province is famous for its variety of fine specialties and its fragrant sticky rice. Thanks to the province's collective efforts in production and promotion, the sensational local treat has grown popular nationwide and provided farmers with additional riches.
On these rice fields nestled high up on the mountainside, the famous fragrant sticky rice is ready for harvest. This variety of rice is typically cultivated in the communes of Xuân Trường, Khánh Xuân, Phan Thanh, and Bảo Lạc district.
Our locality's rice has a pleasant fragrance unique to this type of rice. It has to be harvested branch by branch and bundled into sheaves in order to preserve the fragrance.
Under the Agriculture Promotion Program, the province will strive to expand the cultivated field area for fragrant sticky rice to 83 hectares.
With more than 42 tons per hectare in average yield, fragrant sticky rice generates between $1,000 and $1,600 of profit for farmers. Well known for its distinct flavors and dense nutritional values, fragrant sticky rice produced by Bảo Lạc district was certified as a 3-star OCOP product.
Our district has made policies to expand the field area of fragrant sticky rice. In these 3 communes, the area for sticky rice is about 150 hectares, while that of wet rice is approximately 400 hectares. We have encouraged farmers to switch to growing sticky rice.
Bảo Lạc district is currently assessing soil conditions in its local farmland in a bid to replicate these unique rice varieties. In addition, concentrated efforts have been made to develop a comprehensive value chain from production to consumption, bringing the products to major markets and boosting economic development.
The purchasing price of dragon fruit in Tiền Giang is currently $1.15 per kilogram, which is 3 times higher than it was at this time last year. Gardeners have attributed the high prices to the approaching end of the main season. Most gardens are almost out of fruit, resulting in lower supply compared to demand. According to the Tiền Giang Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, the annual dragon fruit harvest in this locality exceeds 236,000 tons. The cultivation is mainly concentrated in the districts of Chợ Gạo, Gò Công Tây, and Gò Công Đông. Additionally, this province has 33 growing area codes for export to China, South Korea, Japan, the United States, and Australia. In Cam Thành Nam Commune, Cam Ranh City, Khánh Hòa Province, farmers have been minimizing the use of pesticides and following clean procedures to produce delicious and safe agricultural products. Thanks to organic farming, the apple orchards in this area have become popular destinations for customers to visit and enjoy fresh apples. More in the following story.
In this apple orchard, the garden owner is the first person to eat the newly picked apple right on the spot. This is because the apple orchards here are grown according to VTVgo process, which ensures product safety.
I only spray once every 3 to 4 months to kill pathogens, so there's no need to worry about eating this apple right from the garden.
The land of Cam Thành Nam, Cam Ranh City, Khánh Hòa Province is ideal for growing apple trees. The apples grown here are known for their sweet and crispy fruit. However, there was a time when gardeners had to either cut down apple trees or rely on pesticides to continue planting. Concerned about this, Hồ Tấn Cường embarked on a journey of green farming. He invented these large nests to protect the apple orchard from bugs.
The advantage is that we limit or even eliminate the use of pesticides on the apples that we pick. Additionally, the apples can have better quality, such as being larger, riper, and sweeter.
Hồ Tấn Cường also convenes other farmers in the area. Together, they joined the Thành Nam Orange Apple Growing Cooperative. Together, all 8 hectares of apple orchards here are cultivated in greenhouses with strict control over the use of pesticides.
If many people are doing the same thing, they will be recognized in the market and people will buy from them. However, if I create good products while others don't, then the truth becomes muddled.
In farming areas, apple farmers are less concerned about the health effects of pesticides from apple orchards around their homes. Similarly, consumers who eat safe apples also feel confident about their health.
Vietnam's contribution to the global preservation and promotion of traditional cultural values has been distinct in the past few years. To celebrate the beauty of Vietnamese culture on the threshold of the 42nd session of the UNESCO's General Conference, the permanent delegation of Vietnam to UNESCO and the Vietnam National Commission for UNESCO co-hosted the cultural evening in Paris on Monday.
Foreign ambassadors and representatives to UNESCO were treated to a feast of Vietnamese culture, including an exhibition of formally recognized tangible and intangible heritages, along with traditional art performances.
Vietnam is formally running for a post at the World Heritage Committee. This is an important organization, and we expect this to be an opportunity to promote Vietnam's approach in preserving world heritages.
On behalf of UNESCO, the Deputy Director General expressed his appreciation for the cultural event held by Vietnam delegates as it honors the beauty of Vietnam's intangible heritages. He hailed the 50-year partnership between Vietnam and UNESCO and valued Vietnam's contributions to preserving the world's heritages.
Vietnam has managed to prove its strong commitment to the UNESCO's missions.
The Vietnam Culture Night has showcased the depth of Vietnamese authentic culture to the world and affirmed Vietnam's resolution to contribute to global culture preservation towards peace and sustainability.
Coming up next in our world news. UN chief urges ceasefire in the Gaza Strip while Israel pledges to keep fighting. And later on, global financial chiefs gather at Hong Kong summit to discuss measures against rising of inflation globally. Moving on to our world news, the conflict in Gaza is more than a humanitarian crisis. It is a crisis of humanity. That is the statement made by United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres at UN headquarters in New York on Monday. The UN chief highlighted that the unfolding catastrophe in Gaza makes the need for a humanitarian ceasefire more urgent with every passing hour, stressing that the protection of civilians is paramount. He emphasized that Gaza was becoming a graveyard for children, with more than 4,100 killed since the conflict broke out. The UN Secretary General also underlined the need to support a $1.2 billion humanitarian appeal to help nearly 3 million people across the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. He then strengthened his calls for a ceasefire as Palestinian authorities reported that more than 10,000 people have been killed in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. For his part, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Monday that while a humanitarian pause is within consideration, there will be no complete ceasefire without the return of the hostages captured by Hamas. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, on Tuesday upgraded its 2023 gross domestic product growth forecast for China to 5.4% from 5%, citing a strong post-COVID-19 recovery. The upward revision followed a decision by China to approve a 1 trillion yuan, or roughly $137 billion sovereign bond issue, and allow local governments to front-load part of the 2024 bond quotas in a move to support the economy. However, China's economic growth is projected to gradually slow in the next 2 years. The IMF said continued weakness in the property sector and lower external demand could restrict gross domestic product growth to 4.6% in 2024. The global financial sector's next crisis may come from inflation and rising geopolitical uncertainty. That is the shared concern of top executives of international banking firms at the Global Financial Leaders Investment Summit hosted by the Hong Kong Monetary Authority on Tuesday. Morgan Stanley said low inflation across the economy is over. Accordingly, investors may need to adjust themselves to inflation as high as 4%. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs believe global economy remains vulnerable to central banks' regulatory tightening. The top banking chiefs also agreed that record amounts of cash in global asset accounts clearly showed that investors are wary of where to spend their money.
There we go. I did not know that little bit of personal background between Noel and Helen.
former colleagues. There must be some secrets.
With more than 12 million people over 60 years old, accounting for about 18% of the population, Thailand is one of the fastest aging societies population in the world. Stakes are raised even further for the Thai economy as low pensions are pushing a large group of the elderly in this Southeast Asian country to the risk of living in poverty.
Noi is a 73-year-old widow who lines up to receive free meals under scorching heat. She is left with no other choice since her humble pension isn't enough to allow her to cook very diligently.
I live off a government subsidy of 900 baht per month. I spend as little as possible. On rainy days when I can't go out to get meals, I can only afford bread with tomato sauce.
Noi is among other 500 homeless and poor people who line up on a street in Bangkok to receive free meals every day. Many of them are older citizens. With as much as $25 in their pockets as monthly pensions, many elderly people in Thailand are struggling to make ends meet. According to the Farmers Bank of Thailand, 34% of elderly people live below the poverty line, with an income of less than $830. Meanwhile, Thailand is on track to become one of the fastest aging countries in the world. It is estimated that more than 20% of Thailand's population will be over 65 years old in just 6 years.
Thailand, we say we've become old before we've become rich. We are one of the middle-income countries who have become super-aged society.
The Thai government recently launched a welfare package for the elderly, which is worth $8.1 billion. The Thai Ministry of Labor is also considering raising the retirement age to 60 years old. This is expected to help workers earn more money prior to retirement.
And before we say goodbye, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download our mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.